Continuation from my previous video, this one will be talking about existing bus stop staggers, or like split bus stops if you would put it that way. And I'll just explain briefly. So for Anson Road, everything that goes onto Robinson Road we'll call at Hub Synergy Point, which is BO1. And then BO3, which is International Plaza, everything that turns inside Cecil Street would call that bus stop. And then Maple Tree is reserved exclusively for CDS. And then there are also some exceptions as well. So, okay, for Hub Synergy Point, it's like the bus stop for 10E, 196E, as well as 513, 850E, as well as 951E. International Plaza has 640, which is Scheme B bus service. And then Hub Synergy Point has 621 as well. It also has 591 and 592. And then these three, I honestly forgot if they even call International Plaza in the first place. I honestly forgot. And I mean, bus stop staggers are there in order to control the traffic flow at bus stops. So that's why every single City Direct bus service is at Maple Tree except 673, which calls here, and here as well. It's just a move. I know it breaks the trend of Robinson Road and Cecil Street, but it's just a move in order to split the bus service. And pretty much every single CDS that is introduced after 673 that goes to Cecil, I think it's up till 678 if I'm not wrong, they call the bus stops in this order. Next, Shenton Way, there's bus stop 1, bus stop 3, and bus stop 5 as well. So every single bus service would call bus stop 1, and then they would split off at bus stop 3 and 5. So this one is for all the Harbourfront bus services, and it's also for the CDS 673 all the way to 678, this series, because every other CDS calls at this stop, so they just split them. And then for bus stop 3, there's also 502 and 982E, which functions like a City Direct but is technically not branded as a City Direct bus service. So stuff like 121, 196, and what's the other one? 167, they would call at bus stop 5, as well as every other bus service that terminates at Shenton Way. They would call bus stop 5. So the Orchard Road bus stagger is also quite famous. So to put it simply, buses that come in from Scots Road would call at Tangs Plaza. How do you even pronounce that? Is it Tangs Plaza or Tangs Plaza? I have no idea. Please tell me in the comment section. And then every bus that comes from Patterson Road is at bus stop 14. So this is the general pattern. And then for the straight going buses, okay, let me put my memory to the test. 36, 174, and 77 would call at Tangs, and then 502 and A, 111, 123, 7, and 106. So it's 3 services to Tanks and then 5 services to Lucky Plaza, which is like an even, more or less even split, I guess. I don't know if there's like a pattern or anything for this, but it's like 36 is from Tomlinson Road, 174 is from Farrer Road, 77 is from 6th Avenue. It's like a left turn into Holland Road. And then every single one of the services at Lucky Plaza is like a right turn into Holland Road or something along those lines. I don't even know why it's staggered like that. But an interesting fact is that bus stop 12, which is what is that? The Mandarin Hotel or something along those lines, and bus stop 10 is Orchard Central, or like opposite Somerset Station, opposite 313 Somerset. These two bus stops, they were not staggered in the past, but over time they became staggered. So every single bus service from Tanks Plaza, like over here, they would call at bus stop 12, and then I'll just color code it. Every bus service that originates from Lucky Plaza, it would go to bus stop 10. So this is like the general trend, and because of the right turn filter, regardless of whether you came from Tanks or Lucky Plaza, bus stop 8 is reserved for 123 and 143 because they have to right turn filter just before Dhoby Ghat MRT. And yeah, everything else calls at, what's that stop name again? It's Le Meridian Shop Center. It's in French, I cannot pronounce French words, so yeah. And then bus stop 2 is for 64, 65, and 139. Everything that turns into Prinsep Street, Seligi Road, how do you even say that? And this one is the remaining ones. 64 and 139 do not call Dhoby Ghat bus stop at Penang Road because they have to left turn into Clemenceau Avenue. And yeah. But of course, there are exceptions. And what I mean by that is that in the past there was this premium 587 from Woodlands, and then there was also this premium 590. Did 590 even go Orchard? I honestly cannot remember. And then there was like 971E as well. But 587, I know it had like a special bus stop calling pattern. And then there was also SBS Transit's City Shopper services. So the City Shoppers, they do not call Tanks Plaza, they called bus stop 12, they called bus stop 8, and then they called Old MacDonald House. It did not call at Dhoby Ghat MRT, so they just wanted to split them for the City Shopper buses. Like 578, 579, 581, these were the last few remaining ones, but I think pretty much every single City Shopper like followed this trend. I've also recreated some of the City Shopper routes using double-decker buses on B9TL Right, so can go watch them if you want. I think I've put like annotations on what bus stops they call. And then in the past, Orchard Turn did not exist. So pretty much every single bus service just went like this, regardless of whether they're going up, going westbound, or going down. And this isn't really like a bus stop stagger or what, but it's also the way bus services are being split. So nowadays, every single thing that I think in the past, like Somerset Road just straight up connected to Orchard Turn or something along those lines. I forgot. I'm so sorry about that. But then, every single bus that goes to Scott's Road, oops, like 124, 143, 162, 700, 190, 972, and M. Every one of them went like Orchard Turn. And this goes the same for like the Night Rider buses as well. So for the Night Rider buses, I don't exactly remember, but it was also like more or less the same thing. For NR, I think it's like 1, 2, and 3, and then there was some that like Orchard Turn Minor, and then Orchard Boulevard. It either went here in the case of NR8, or it went down in the case of NR5. So yeah, this is basically how they split the area near Ion Orchard. So, and there was one exception. Uh, it was 971 and 971E. So instead of going to Orchard Turn, it would just go Somerset Road, Grange Road, Orchard Boulevard, and then Patterson Road, Scotts Road. Yeah. Next one, Ang Mo Kio Avenue 3. So this bus stop behind is for services like 138. Okay, I'm putting my memory to the test again. 86, 853, and M. And then there was like 162 or so. And then everything else called bus stop 18A. And there was one exception, 169. It was straight going, but it called bus stop 18 instead. I don't know why. Maybe because SMRT thinks that like, okay, since 853 is here, I might as well put 169 here as well, and I don't want it to be congested by all the buses at bus stop 18A. I don't know how they plan the bus stops, but yeah. Next one, River Valley Road. So there is this bus stop that's like eastbound, and then this is Zion Road. It's a one-directional road. And then because and then because 14 and 65, they have to turn left, they would call the bus stop in front, and every other service, they called the bus stop behind. Next up is New Road. So right now it's not a stagger, but in the past it was a stagger. So New Road had 61, 197, 166, 196, and 167. So if I remember correctly, it was like bus stop 3 or 5, or is it like 3A or something along those lines? They were like split like that. Somebody please correct me if I got this wrong, thanks. Then there is also one at Robinson Road, which is for like traffic control. So I'm not kidding, historically, the middle bus stop at Robinson Road, it used to have like literally only 10 and 196, as well as their E counterparts as well. Okay. Everything would call here. And then this middle bus stop later became 97, 106, and 133. Did I even get this right? Cause okay, 106 was only added in later because 106 used like Maxwell Road for Bukit Batok bound, and then it used Shenton Way for like Shenton Way bound. I mean that was in the past, but then they all call this bus stop now. But yeah, I know 106 was like the exceptions, and oh yes, 106 and 133 they were added later. But when 97 was amended to Marina Boulevard and Central Boulevard, 97 was basically the first addition, and then these two came later. And then nowadays there are also like more additions along this bus stop. I think it's 513 as well as 654, and then all the CDSs. The CDS is like, they called this one they called this one, and they called this one, except 513 and 654, which only calls this one. So everything that I'm underlining in green, they only called this and this because of the right turn filter towards Marina Boulevard. So this is how the Robinson Road bus stop stagger works. Another stagger is at McRitchie Reservoir. It's Thompson Road, and basically the buses that went straight were like 93, 156, it turns to Bishan Road, and 157. Everything over here is straight running, and the rest of the bus services, they serve the inner bus stop and then went to Upper Thompson Road. Okay, then there's another strange one, Bukit Panjang Road. There is like block 183 and then 184. So 171 and 970 calls this bus stop, and then everything else calls this one. And even after all the changes in that area, this stagger still remains. And then there's also another one at Upper Bukit Timah Road. It's like there's one up there and then there's one below there, and the one below there is like for 974 and 983. Again, it changed a lot, but this is the current arrangement. 974, 983 stops there, and then everything else stops here. Then there's another one which I honestly don't even remember the specifics. So the bus stop is like divided into three, and then I just remembered that like there is 925 in one of them, and then one is like reserved for, what do you call that, the ones going to Malaysia, and then every other bus, like, you know, like the 960, 961, 178, it calls. I don't remember the order, but it's like I'm pretty sure the middle one was for like the Malaysia services, and then 925 was pushed in front, and then the rest are like pushed behind. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. My memory is quite fuzzy when it comes to Kranji MRT. It's technically not like a stagger, but it's like within the same bus stop, it's split, just like McRitchie, I guess. And then this one is not really a stagger, but it's like the next bus stops. It's because, okay, if I were to draw it, okay, I'll just draw Upper Serangoon Road with a thicker line, and then I will draw Serangoon. Okay, this is Serangoon Avenue 1, like that, and then this is Serangoon Central. I think it's easier to explain like that. And basically what happens is that every single bus along Serangoon Central would call these 4 stops, except this bus stop has every single bus service except 147 and 853/M. They don't have these bus services because 147 and 853M, you can board them here instead. And then there's also another kind of weird one. Not really weird, but there's 315 that doesn't call this pair of bus stops at all, but it calls this pair and this pair as well. So yeah. But then technically there is one stagger. So this bus stop over here is reserved for like, if I can remember correctly, it was 101, 103, and 317. Because of the right turn filter into what do you call that, Serangoon Avenue 2. So yeah, it was reserved. It is reserved for these 3 bus services. Sims Avenue. Okay, so for Sims Avenue East, there is one bus stop at Kembangan MRT, and then there is this one, I think it was like Sims Avenue East bus stop 5, and then there's bus stop 7. This one is reserved for like service 32, and then every other service just calls this bus stop. 42 does not call this bus stop 7. Okay, now moving on to Sims Avenue. Bus stop 17, which is the one behind, and bus stop 19, it's the one in front. So every single bus service would call this bus stop, except I'm gonna list down the ones that are split. 7, 26, 28, and 30. The reason why they split this is because they wanna like bunch the services together, like basically services that had like more or less similar destinations, they would bunch them together. And what I mean by that is that all of these services, they ended inside Bedok interchange. Like okay, it's like when I mean Bedok interchange, I mean Bedok interchange and not New Upper Changi Road Bedok MRT station. So this one goes to Bedok interchange, this one does also, and this one does also. Then you might be wondering, why is 28 there? And the reason is because historically this thing was 152, and 152 went inside Bedok before it got merged with 28. So 28 plus 152, not really plus, but like they merged to become the present day service 28. But just remember that this 152 used to go inside Bedok, and that's why bus stop 19 is like split like this. And then there is a recent one, it is Marine Parade Road. This one I'm also quite rusty, like there is the bus stop behind and there's a bus stop in front. Okay, not all, but like the remaining ones would call in front, and the ones behind, if I'm not wrong, it's like 15966, the two who loop here. Oh gosh, I'm really rusty. It's like this and this, because I'm pretty sure 134 stops in front. I'm starting to doubt myself because I may have made a mistake when I say split. Again, please correct me. I'm just doing this in one take to see how much I can remember. So just know that Marine Parade Road, like right now, there is a bus stop stagger. And then there's like 135. Is 135 in front? I am not sure. I really forgot how they were split. Or it's like, did I get 135 and 196 wrong? I don't know. And this one isn't really a stagger, but since I was talking about Marine Parade, Mountbatten Road, East Coast Road, Tanjong Katong Road South, Tanjong Katong Road, Hague Road, Amber Road, Marine Parade Road. So this is not really a bus stop stagger, but it's like just a general pattern. So every bus service that originates from Amber Road that goes to Tanjong Katong Road, they do not call the stops here. But buses from East Coast Road to Tanjong Katong Road, they do call the bus stops here. And then along this side, 36 and 48 also call this bus stop before heading to Tanjong Katong Road South. I'm pretty sure they do not call the opposite bound because of like the right turn filter to turn inside to Amber Road. And yes, I forgot one more, but 196, it goes Mountbatten Road. And I think it calls this side but not the other side, like the same logic. Okay, Bencoolen Street. So this is Middle Road, this is Bencoolen Street. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and then there's 4. So if I remember correctly, the ones at the bus stops behind, it's for 64, 65, and 139. And then the bus stops in front, it's for 131, 146. Now what am I talking about? 147, 166, 857. So these are all going Bras Basah Road. They are left turning. These are all right turning. They are going to YMCA Orchard. Simple. The Little India area, there isn't really any like bus stop stagger or anything, but I think I'll just illustrate. So there's Serangoon Road, Kitchener Road, what's happening? Kitchener Road and Rangoon Road. And then there is this Farrer Park MRT station and the bus stop after it. So there is every bus stop calls here. Every bus calls at this bus stop, and then every service except 67 and 141 call here because these two have to right turn towards Lavender Street. And speaking of Serangoon Road, there is technically another one at this is PIE, and this is Serangoon Road, and this bus stop is like exclusively served by I think 26, 31, 857, basically whatever turns there. And in the past, there was also, believe it or not, 142, 966, 989, 154, 151. Because back then, you couldn't go from like MacPherson Road or like Jalan Koyam Air, the slip road, directly straight. You had to like detour a bit. So it was like you have to go Bendemeer Road, Whampoa North, and then you would call this bus stop, and then you would just go like this. And then Whampoa North was deleted. Okay, as I was saying, after Whampoa North was deleted, they had to again, it's quite stupid, but for a period of time, they had to extend everything to turn around at Whampoa East before they could go to PIE St. Andrews Slip Road. Yeah. Okay, and the next one is Thompson Road. So, as you know, there is a Catholic church over here. It's just called Novena Church. I mean, the real name is Church of Saint Alphonsus, but there is a bus stop outside this church, which is like right now it's shifted a bit further. Yeah, it's shifted a bit further down right now. And then there is also like one bus stop at Velocity, which is the shopping mall, and it has Novena MRT in it. So this one is pretty simple. This is like Momin and Newton Road. Every single bus that would turn into Newton Road would call the Novena Church bus stop. And then for Velocity, it's for buses going like straight down or turning to Momin Road. So it's like there's 21, there's 131, 166, 851, 141, 980. I don't know if I missed out any, but something along the... Oh wait, I missed out, sorry. 56 and 57, yeah, something like that. There is also one at Lorong 4 Toa Payoh. I'm not very familiar with this one, but again, conceptually, it's supposed to be like, okay, there's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then 5, 6, 7, 8. So the way the buses are being split is like, it depends on whether they are going Braddock Road westbound or Braddock Road eastbound. So if you're going westbound, you would call these two stops to go westbound. And then if you are going eastbound, you would call these two stops. And then there is like a similar pattern also. Like I believe it's also like coming in and then coming in as well. And then I don't necessarily remember which is which, but like there is a stagger like this, and then there is also another stagger like this. Or maybe I got the order wrong and it's like this and then like this. But just know that it's supposed to be staggered this way. This is Lorong 4, and then This is Toa Payoh Central. I think. And 232, I don't know if 232 served 1 or 2 bus stops, or maybe the road actually branched out here. You see, I'm not that good with when it comes to Toa Payoh, so I guess this one is considered a fail. But I mean, I know the staggers, but I don't know it like well enough to the point whereby I can like just recall it from the top of my head, just like what I did for the previous ones. Again, correct me, please, in the comment section. And then the last one before I talk about Yishun, this one is by far the most difficult to explain. So Chinatown. Okay, but first let's start off with something a little simpler. So in the past it was like bus stop for, I forgot what it was, but bus stop 14 and bus stop 12, I believe. Okay, I think there was a bus stop 14A and bus stop 14. So basically this is Outram Park Station, and the routes are being split in such a way that everything that calls before Hospital Drive, there used to be a bus stop over there before it got merged into bus stop 14. Every bus that calls at bus stop 14A would call at bus stop 12 as well, except 167 and 196, because they had to turn into Cantonment Road, they have to call bus stop 14. And then bus stop 14 was basically for all the New Bridge Road Terminal bus services, like, which is now Kampong Baru. It's like 254, 174, 190, 12, 120, 121. I mean, now 120 doesn't even go to Outram Park MRT, but in the past there was 120, and then I mean before Kampong Baru Terminal, and then there's 121 and 122 as well. So basically, nowadays they merge such that bus stop 14A and bus stop 14 are within like the same bus stop. It's just like Jalan. No, not Jalan. It's just like the Punggol TPE bus stops, which I literally forgot about. The Punggol TP, okay, it's similar to that in the sense that they had one back and one at the front. So the one at the front was for the Kampong Baru, was for the New Bridge Road Terminal bus services, which is the current Kampong, Kampong Baru no, not ITH, Kampong Baru interchange bus services, in addition to 167 and 196, and everything else would be at the one behind. So yeah, in front, it's for those from the terminal, and behind it is the ones from the normal road, except 167 and 196. And then every bus from the bus stop behind, bus stop 14A, calls at bus stop 12, which is Outram Park MRT. So yeah, bus stop 14, the current one in front, 174 also calls there, 121, 122 also calls there, even though they turn into Outram Road and should call the bus stop in front. But okay, they only call bus stop 14. And actually I forgot to say something. Bus stop 14A, bus stop 14, 167 and 196, they used to serve like both of them when they were still split, but ever since they combined, this bus stop is no more. These two, they just stop at the bus stop at the front position, just like the Punggol TPE bus stops. Okay, that was already like a mouthful to say, so can you imagine now I have to explain this, the actual stagger for you? Okay, so bus stop 10 is Pearl Center. Now it's Pearls Hill Center. That's a mouthful to say. Okay, Pearls Hill Center, People's Park Complex, People's Park Center, Apollo Center. I forgot what it the name is. I don't know if any of the bus stops has been renamed, like Chinatown Station Exit ABCD or something along those lines. And bus stop 2 is Clark I'm not a chicken. Clarke Quay MRT station. Why is my brain not working? Okay. So how should I say this? Okay, so basically, if you're going towards like River Valley or Stamford Road, you would call bus stop 10, bus stop 6. Okay, bus stop 2 is for every single bus service, including like 961 that goes to like High Street Parliament Place. So I don't think we should be talking about this at all. So just know that the general pattern for like the one in red is basically 54 that goes River Valley, and then there's like 124, 147, 166, 190, yeah. There is an exception to this rule because 174 it turns in from Havelock Road. So wait a minute. Oh yes, I'm correct. Because if you follow this logic, 174 is by right supposed to call at bus stop 10 and bus stop 6, but again, 174 is Chin Swee Road. So it only comes into Yu Tong-Sen Street from Havelock Road, and therefore 174 has no choice but to call Apollo Center, and that's like the only exception to this rule. And then the remaining buses, like those that go to Victoria Street, they would call this bus stop and this bus stop, People's Park Complex and Apollo Center. But that's not the end of the story, because there is actually something kind of jank going on. So, okay, not really jank, it's intentional, but it will sort of like mess with your mind a little bit. So 851, it goes to Victoria Street, but why does it not call bus stop 8 and 4? There's 851 over here, and there's 851 over here. And then you also realize from Kreta Ayer Road, turning into Yu Tong-Sen Street, there's service 80 and then there's service 145. So SBS Transit, even back in the olden days when 80 was still service 84, and then there was like, oh no, Trans Island Bus Services had a bus 864 from Marina Center. The one I'm talking about is SBS 84. I just confused myself again. Okay, when 80 was still 84, it also followed this pattern. Okay, but ignore what I just said if you're not interested in history. 80 and 145, they turned in from Kreta Ayer Road. And SBS Transit, or SBS I should say, they wanted to split both of these services to make them call different bus stop pairs. So service 80 goes into the Apollo Center stagger. And then 145 is paired up with 851. And I will explain why this one is important. Because at Hill Street, there is bus stop 6, bus stop 4, and bus stop 2. And every single bus that turns into Stamford Road, okay, I'll just list them down so that it's easier for you to visualize. Like this, and this. As well as this, and this. And this also applies to like the city direct bus services when they are diverted. They also call bus stop 2 as well. So bus stop 2, the one that is like at the northernmost part of Hill Street. It's exclusively reserved for those turning left to Stamford Road. Every other bus service gets staggered over to bus stop 4, which is outside Armenian Church. And just now I talked about 145 and 851. These two are special. Obviously, they're not going to call bus stop 2 because they don't go inside Stamford Road. But these two bus services are being staggered away. And this is not the end of the story yet. And that is because for Victoria Street, there's one more bus stop stagger. No, not one more, but you get the idea. Good Shepherd's Cathedral. I forgot what this bus stop is called. It's like opposite Bras Basah Complex. St. Joseph's Church. Opposite Bugis Junction. Bugis MRT Station. So the reason why they are... You see, the reason why 145 and 851 are being split in this manner is because... Look at this. 145, 851. They are being partnered up. 145, 851. And then 145 and 851 are being partnered along with those that turn inside from Stamford Road. 133 and 960. Okay, I know 130, it used to go via Coleman Street in the past, and then after Coleman Street, it did not call Hill Street at all, and then it just goes to Good Shepherd's Cathedral directly. So let's put 130 here as well. And every bus that calls bus stop 1 would call bus stop 5 as well. So, do you notice that this one over here and this one over here, they go to Rocher Road. Okay, I should say 960E as well and 851E as well, but you know what, for simplicity's sake, I'm just not gonna care about the express variants like for now. And then these three over here are being staggered to bus stop 9. So it's a really systematic way of staggering by SBS and SBS Transit. Okay, to be honest, 130, it did not always call bus stop 9. There was a period of time whereby they called bus stop 7 instead, but you see, 133 and 145, they are like one pair. And then 851 and 960, they are another pair. And then 145 and 851, previously, they were also being paired up for this exact purpose. So yeah. And because 851 and 960, they go to Rocher Road, they stop here. So this is basically what the church stagger, you know, like the Good Shepherd's Cathedral and St. Joseph Church, they are meant to do. They are meant to like offer you an option into bus stop 7 and as well as another option into bus stop 9. So when you split the buses like that, you're giving them more options, and it kind of falls in beautifully as well because you know service 80, like it's being split away from 145 so that these two don't duplicate each other. They really do not want 80 and 145 to touch at all, like except Clarkey MRT station. That's like the only one where both of them would call. They want 80 and they wanted 80 and 145 to be distinct. And that's why 145 and 851 were even like partnered up to serve different bus stop pairs. And then later on at Victoria Street, 851 is being partnered with 960. So that's basically how it works. So everything else would call at bus stop 3 and then opposite Bugis Junction. I mean 851 and 960 they have to call there because of Rocher Road. So you see, this is how bus stop staggering works. But I'm not done yet. Look at this. There is this one bus service that defies literally everything. Okay, let's go back. So 197, it was from Jalan Bukit Merah, Kampong Baru Road, and then U Tongson Street. It called at the bus stop before Hospital Drive, but then it shifted, and then it calls Outram Park Station. So 197, it calls People's Park Complex and Apollo Center. So nothing too out of the blue, right? Then you go on to Hill Street. Oh, it's systematic. 197 is at Hill Street. But then you go on to Victoria Street. 197 by right should be here. But guess what? No. 197 is here and here. So 197 literally defies everything because they want people from like, you know, Chinatown to be able to like access the church stagger bus stops. It's like everything else calls bus stop 3 and then yeah, bus stop 7, but they specifically picked out 197 in order to do this one special stagger. 197 is the only exception. And yes, 197 doesn't actually call here. 197, yeah, I know it sounds really stupid, but 197 actually calls here. Like, what is this? But again, the whole purpose of this is to stagger off bus services. Like, to make sure the bus services don't like entirely duplicate each other, even though they're serving the same route, they don't want like them to duplicate the stops. So I've color coded it. This is basically how they're supposed to go. And then there is also another thing. There is service 2 and 32. They used to be from bus stop 7, but I think around it's somewhere between year 2003 and 2006, 7 or 8 or 9, I cannot remember which year it was. Because of congestion, they shifted these two over to here. And then okay, this slide is like already filled up, but if I were to say bus stop 7 and bus stop 9, like I'm just giving examples. Like you have stuff like 197, 7, 175, 851, 960, and their express variants as well. I'm just doing this from memory. And then previously I said there was like 130, 133, 145 along this sector. So service 2 and 32 used to be from here, but then they plucked it over here. So it becomes 2 and 32. And then there are, hold up, how many of them there are? Okay. And then there's something special also. 3 services, if I counted correct. Yes, 3 other services, 33, 51, and 61. I do not know why they are split off, but again, congestion. They split off these 3, which were supposed to be at bus stop 7 according to this stagger over here, because it's like it's supposed to be this, and this, and bus stop 3 and 7 are another stagger. It's supposed to alternate like this, but you know, because of like the way things are being planned, like Rocher Road, 145, 851, 960, the pairings, yada yada. They decided to split off 33, 61, and 51 into this bus stop, and then pretty much everything else are at the service 80 here as well, and then pretty much everything else stops at here. And then there's also another one. Well, Knight Rider 7. It calls this bus stop and it calls this bus stop. Yeah, NR7 breaks the rules because it's at night. There are like little to no buses around, so it can call both. So do you see how jank this is? Everything is being done for a very specific reason. They just want them to call like different pairs of bus stops. But it's just amazing that like all the way from Chinatown to Hill Street and then to Victoria Street, the stagger already starts so early, and the fact that this is even being planned is like honestly really impressive, and not even Orchard Road can compare with this one, because I just find this like quite beautiful, like genuinely. Oh, and then there's another one at gosh, this one, Northbridge Road. It's at City Hall MRT. So this one is City Hall MRT station, and the bus stop used to be St. Andrew's Cathedral, and then bus stop 3 is opposite Peninsula Plaza, and then this one is the Treasury, I think. So every bus except 32 and 195, because they turn into North Boat Quay and River Valley Road, they don't call this bus stop, but bus stop 1 is for like every single bus. So yeah. So 195 and 961, they just happen to be at opposite Peninsula Plaza. And then there's also like 851 as well. There's like 63 and so on and so forth. There's 32 as well. So bus stop 5 is for those that turn in from Bras Basah Road. You have this one, you have this. Okay, 147 and 190, they go to Victoria Street, so they are not part of this. There's 174 and E as well. Don't make me write E for this also, it's so stupid. Uh, no, it's just a hassle. Yeah. These services, they have to exist, but it's just a hassle like writing it down. You know what, I'll just erase them. So these came from Bras Basah Road. And then there is this one and this one. Both of these go to New Road. And then you see most of these, including 51, this one, this one, this one, this one, they go to Upper Cross Street. Most of the Upper Cross Street bus services are at opposite Peninsula Plaza bus stop. I know there's this, but it's like systematically they just grouped it this way. But the reason why 124 and 174 are even at the bus stop outside the City Hall MRT exit is because they came from Bras Basah Road and they just want to give passengers like immediate access to City Hall MRT. So that is the reason why. And then there was this one, Service 80. Okay, before that there was also 145 here. So you see this one, Southbridge Road, and then to Tanjong Pagar Road. Oh, so basically they were split like this. But what I was trying to say just now is that originally this is like how they planned to split the bus services. I mean, they implemented it. But then, for some reason, Service 80 was shifted from bus stop 5 to opposite Peninsula Plaza. So, okay, I'll just erase this. I'll erase all of this. And this one also. And then I'll just put service 80 over here. I think they were just trying to split off 80 and 145 even more. So yeah, this is basically how the bus stop splitting for North Bridge Road even works in the first place. And I don't think I should dwell onto this for any longer, otherwise I think I will get a migraine. Pongo TP bus stop. This one is quite simple. Eastbound, westbound. Eastbound, westbound. So this one is very simple to explain. Every bus that turns left to Pongo Road southbound calls the bus stop in front. Every other bus that turns to Pongo Road northbound or continues straight, including 109, calls the bus stop behind for the westbound. For the eastbound stops, this one is going to Pasir Ris, and this one is everything else. Like, if it's going to Tampines Avenue 10, or in the case of Tampines Avenue 12, 969, or Changi Airport, which is 110 and 858, they would call at the bus stop behind for the east bound. And I should mention this is Pasir Ris Drive 12. And then there is one exception. 89 is over here, and even though 89E doesn't go Pasir Ris Drive 12, they just wanted to make it so that 89 and 89E are at the same stop. So 89E is the exception. Yeah, that's pretty much it. This one is actually very, very simple to explain. And now here comes my worst nightmare. My goodness, it's a 1 hour video again. Okay. But this shows that like I did not script my videos. I memorized a lot. I'm just recalling and I'm not referring to anything because most of the time I don't even script my videos. I just have a rough idea and then I just talk and talk and talk. So yeah, if you see me fumble a lot, it means that it's genuine. I did not script any of this. I even forgot like Pongo TP bus stop. This one is really hard to explain because it's like there was like Yishun temporary bus interchange and then Yishun interchange. It's so messy, like Yishun Central, Yishun Avenue 5, Yishun Avenue 2. Cool, I hate explaining this. So there is a bus stop behind, and this is for the buses that turn inside Yishun ITH like 39, 103, 851, 852, and so on and so forth. Yeah, 854, 855, 857, and yeah. Then there is one in front, which is for 804, which is newly implemented. And then this one is for like, what was it for? 858, 965, 969, 883, and M117, and damn, I made a mistake again. No, 883M doesn't go here. 883M goes like this. 883, 117, 117M, and 169. So this is for like everything that doesn't like originate from Yishun interchange, if I am interpreting it right. And yes, the reason why the Yishun interchange bus services don't even call here is because there are private buses calling here and then it'll clog up the station. I mean, it'll clog up the bus stop. I'm sorry. Trains clog up the station. Buses clog up the bus stop. It's different, okay? Okay. Because in the past, this is Yishun Central 1. There was like an entrance and exit over here. And then there was a back exit from here. Or here, I think. That was for like 853 for a period of time. For only a short period of time. So because there was a back exit, you know, stuff like 171, 856, 859, they didn't even like call here. Nowadays everything gets funneled like this, but you kind of get the idea that like this 804 used to be like this. Yeah, and then 812. 812 West Loop. It just goes like this. And then what else? There was like the buses that go here. It was like 800, 806. Gosh, 811 North Loop. Oh my goodness, I am screwing up. 860. Yeah, you can see I'm struggling right now. Oh yeah, 812 East as well. West goes here, East goes here. 811 South exits via Avenue 2 and is the only bus service to do this in the past because there was a linkway between the two, from like the Anon birth site to the Sawtooth birth site of Yishun interchange. So basically, because of this, even though this exit no longer exists, and honestly it should exist because North Point is really badly planned, what am I doing? Basically, because of the way the buses in Yishun interchange, they exited through here and then they exited through here, but they entered via here. There was no bus here, and then 804 was at here. So yeah, and then for a period of time there was like 171, 856, 859 over here, and then for a period of time there was 804 here, and then for a period of time there was also 804 here, and then what am I doing? There's 811 here, and then there's 812. I think it's something along those lines. You get what I mean, right? Yeah, it's something along those lines. And then nowadays, this bus stop over here is only for like 811 and 883M. 811 North Loop, because they turn up here. And then... God, I hate this. Okay, the real bus stop stagger comes from here. Don't ask me why. There is 804 here. There is 812 West Loop, I think, because the East Loop calls this one. And then every single other feeder bus service, like yeah, 800, 801, 803, no, 805 is from the bottom, so 806, 807 as well. I should erase this because it's a little confusing. And I believe it's like, oh, what am I doing? And I believe it's like 811 from North Loop going to South Loop. I think it called this bus stop. Yeah, I am really struggling to explain this one. I don't even know why they are split this way. Like, why is it that this bus stop only has like 804 and 812 West Loop, and then everything else is being bunched here? Because I think this bus stop is like for the feeder services, like most of them, and then this one is for like the other services along Yishun Avenue 2. And then there was like 859 over here as well, because it's like there's like 171 and 856 which just go express from Yishun Avenue 5 into the interchange. But because 859 is a loop service, it calls this bus stop, it goes in, and then it comes out again. Oh my god. Can you see this one? It's like really a nightmare to explain, and even I am not able to explain it. Even if you give me time to research, I did not research this prior or anything, it's just from memory. Even if you, oh my god, my voice is dying. Even if you give me time to research No, I am not able to explain why Yishun Avenue 2 is like split like this. Nobody can understand it. Even if you have like a PhD in public transport or like, rapid transit, I don't know what Singapore has like for their university courses or whatever, but like nobody is able to explain this one. It's so confusing. Oh my god, so basically I have like 26 pages of whatever I just explained that now, and it's tiring. So now you now I hope you get an idea of how the bus stops are being staggered in Singapore. So bye.